And we are live. Good evening. Hang on, wait. Let me see if this go live on. There we go. We're now officially live. Hello. Hi.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
How are you, magical being?
Oh my gosh, how does it get better? I'm good. I am trying to stay cool today in the UK because we have a wonderful heat wave.
Just look at the difference in the attire. You're sort of, giving it a bit of skin, and I am dressed like I am going to a monastery of some sort. I'm like...
I mean, this is covering up, right? Because let's face it, usually I'm really giving skin.
I just want to say, feel free to give it all the skin you want.
But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Yay.
Oh. So, Cindy, you and Jarryd haven't met yet.
No,
I met your sister on the We've spoken over the
with Paul
Messenger or something. Yeah, with Paul. Yes. That's the first time I actually met you. Was on Paul's call with Jenny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul is that class changed my life, literally. That was one of the ones. Was with Jen, and I think it was his business call, and it completely showed me a space to step into potency that I hadn't been invited to yet, or I hadn't invited myself, and he acknowledged it, saw it, and was like, there's the space, are you going to choose it? And I chose it, and the rest is history. It's amazing. So anyone, don't choose Paul's classes. They're not great and they will not change your life.
This week we're doing energy pools with him every morning for 20 minutes. And they're all like they're just incredible. But I also had the same thing. I mean, you were the guy that invited me into this. So it's your frickin' fault in the first place that I find myself in this crazy ass world.
How does it get better?
Learns so much by one human. How does that even happen?
Kindred souls. That's what we are.
Exactly. But I was also on a call with Jenny, and Paul was invited on one of our morning calls, and he was doing. I think
I was on that call with you.
Oh, yes, and that one I was like, oh my God, I found like this, what is going on here? Yeah. So just don't ever choose Paul at Paul Kearney's classes, anyone.
No. You won't see rapid change at all.
He's the little Irish leprechaun. He goes and creeps in everywhere and changes everybody's lives.
Totally. Yeah.
Yay. We are here to talk about two things. Well, we can talk about anything we want. But, I mean, it's Mandela Day. So firstly, happy Mandela Day, everybody.
Happy Mandela Day.
So we thought it would be great to have a South African team on tonight.
How special.
Just want to send out an apology from Petra, who just had something come up literally 5 minutes before the call, and so she's excused herself, and she sent all her love to you. Of course, you are also good friends with Petra. You're part of our Just One Thing 365 tribe, and she's been on the ground today at our 67 Blankets Knitting Corner, collecting blankets, and of course you were part of for the Animals Blankets Live. So that's been happening today for Mandela Day. And I know she was very excited to speak to you about that. So, P, we love you, and we will catch up with you shortly. But, Jarryd, we wanted to talk a little bit about, Mandela Day started off as giving 67 minutes of your time once a year on Mandela Day to a charity of your cause or whatever, whatever cause, whatever it might be for you. And then it grew into every day is Mandela Day, and just that whole ethos. And I guess in our world, it's about what contribution can you be. So I suppose oh my God, I haven't even let you introduce yourself yet, and I'm whacking in with the big questions. And maybe I need to pause on that.
It's called humanoid for anyone watching.
I just want to ask you what you know about, like all of these profound things. But can we actually just
a case study of humanoid hosting?
Okay, pause. Will you please just tell us about who you are and what you do? I mean, I can do that as well for you. Welcome, everyone. This is Jarryd Nurden. He is, other than being like my kindred spirit, my spirit animal, he is a magnificent performer, singer, dancer. Oh my God, all those wonderful things, actor, and an Access Bars Facilitator, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's the byline. But tell us a little bit more.
That's the linear version of who I am. The unlinear version of who I am is someone on a journey seeking possibilities, trying to see what change I can be in the world by being truly who I am, and trying to discover that every single day, and waking up to make choices to better my life and see what else is truly possible. So I would say that's who I am. I'm a being, I'm a soul, I'm consciousness on this planet, seeing what I can be by being me in this world every day, and seeing what shows up. And the gift of being that and knowing that in that space is that then you can channel that through the linear ways of life, which is magic anyway, by being a singer, dancer, actor, facilitator, whatever you choose to be, because we don't want to box ourselves ever. So if the energy goes somewhere, or if there's a knowing or your intuition, or there's something that you're wanting to be creative with and you've never done it before, why not? What else is possible? Then you go down that route. So yeah, it's always interesting. And the more I use the tools in Access Consciousness, the more undefined my intros become. And the more undefined I am with introducing who I am, because I'm like, I don't know who I am, because I am what I want to be today, or whatever that is.
There's a whole
so it's fun. Exactly. So hello,
maybe that's
everyone.
why I didn't introduce you.
Exactly. Undefined reality.
Introduce an actor, singer, dancer now. I'm like, nah. Yeah, that's some of the stuff you do.
Yeah.
But as Access says, who am I, and what grand and glorious adventures will I have today?
That's who I am. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. So yeah,
tell us about
now
some of those grand and glorious adventures that you are embarking on at the moment, because you're in London. You went there. Tell us a bit about this journey that you've been on.
It's been my journey to London has been one that I've always wanted to come to. It was just a matter of timing. And we know with the universe, it always works in divine timing. It can be so hard to trust because life happens and you're like, oh, my brain wants it to happen now. We're in a day and age where instant gratification is such a common reality that you forget that a pause is required, or like some action is required, or some waiting is required, whatever that might be, in order for that divine timing to happen. So alas, 10 years later, after my initial ask of moving to London, I got here, and it all happened in divine timing. And what made it more exciting was also the tools and doing foundation classes. So if anyone listening hasn't done a foundation yet in Access Consciousness, do it.
Sure.
It's a really awesome way to just redefine your foundation from where you live, from the choices that you make, just to go, okay, what is my psychology doing here? What are my choices doing here? What has been holding me back? And you just get to just go cool and just clear all of that out and then start afresh and move forward. So from that space, it really helped me accelerate my ask to move to London. And then I got here eventually. So I'm here to pursue my career in performing, which I absolutely love. And also what else is possible? I'm facilitating my first Access Bars class at the end of this month, which is exciting. In the UK, not my first class, but my first one in the UK. And yeah, just constantly going, what contribution can I be? What else can I do? And I think me, humanoid, ADHD, I'm talking about many things, but I think one of the exciting things about COVID was that it really taught us to break those boxes that we had initially found ourselves in and go, truly, what the fuck else is possible right now? Because I literally cannot do what I was supposed to be doing. So now I have to use this thing called consciousness, awareness, energy to create. And creative energy is the best energy we can find ourselves in because it allows us to discover more of who we truly are. So yeah, so we'll see what else I'm going to discover in London.
My gosh, so exciting. And I think, yes. Oh my God, I'm being humanoid as well. I've got like about 700 questions.
Go, she's the first one.
Do we talk about this? Do we talk about this? And then my phone bleeps as your phone bleeps, and I'm like, oh, that's the group that we're both on. And Sins. We've got so much going on. And I think that the best part about our lives is that we have, so for me, it was, you invited me to something like a year and a half ago. I gave a yes. I was like, what is possible? I didn't know that I was saying what is possible. And I was just like, okay, that feels like it might be fun. Let's do it. And I mean, you facilitated my first bars class. So, and I'm going to be facilitating my first bars class probably in the first week of August or so. So, yeah, and that whole journey's happened for me, and out of that, I've met Cindy, and Petra's coming on the journey as well, and our world has just expanded in such an incredible way that we could never have imagined, except for wanting more and knowing that more is possible, and just being in that energy of, can I create greater with my life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think,
and from that point, I just wanted to also acknowledge an incredible person who's got us here as well. Is Jenny Watkins from South Africa. Like, people, if you do not know this lady, she is incredible. Just an incredible way with life, incredible understanding of consciousness, of just tools of access consciousness, and so psychic, just amazing, so much fun to learn from, and I'm deeply grateful because she taught me so much as well.
Jenny's like our, sorry, I was going to say Jenny's like our conscious mother, our access conscious mother.
Yeah, literally. In the drag community, you would call it your mother. And a drag mother. She's literally our drag mother of consciousness.
Absolutely. I did facelift with her yesterday. You may have seen us posting online. So it was my first time doing an energetic access facelift class. Oh my gosh. That's like another whole freaking level of just wow. Like, you don't actually have words to define what that is. Well, I can't find words to define what facelift is like, because obviously it's about so much more than facelift. I mean, you could have a butt lift in the process, whatever it might be.
But it's such an incredible invitation to getting to know your body. And it was what I learned on the 3-day body class, which, again, to anyone, such an invitation to do, where you also will do the facelift. But wow, you really learn what it actually means to have communion with your body, and to listen to how to work with our bodies. Because I think from the old society and reality that we've grown up in, it's very much your body is this external problem versus this internal being that can create so many solutions for you, and is this alive part of you that's just communicating the whole time. So the 3-day body is just so yummy. It's like, it's amazing. And yeah, I'm going to be doing another facelift soon in London with David Cubis, which is going to be amazing.
Oh wow!
And some body processes, which is going to be so exciting.
Amazing.
But you did your 3-day body class with Katerina as well, didn't you?
Yes.
Because I just did mine with Katerina. It's amazing. She's amazing.
She is phenomenal with the body.
Yes.
And the energy that she is. There's so much elegance, and she's just got a wonderful integrity with her energy and being and facilitating that just allows you to go on this journey with your body in such a safe and tender, intuitive way. Yeah,
like
such a kindness.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, totally undefined.
So I'm just following the energy here now, because we move, like, I don't know, wherever we move, and we've moved on to bodies. And I think it might be something that could be relevant. So Jay, both you and I have, and since I don't actually know we're still getting to know each other better. We know each other on an energetic level, but we don't know all the details. But I mean, you and I both experienced abuse with our bodies, whether that be sexual abuse, rape, like whatever it's been in our lifetimes leading up to here. How has when you've experienced that in your life, you have everyone has their own experience of it, but there's certain body things that some are textbook, but there's things that one has with your body and your body parts and how you show up in the world. For me, after my first bars class, I experienced some shifts in my body and how my body responded and perceived. Like immediately there was some healing that happened that was really like stuff that no one, that I'd never spoken to anyone about. Obviously I can see and I know that you've come flipping in, oh my God, in the last year or so, like leaps and bounds. Do you want to share with us a little bit about that journey and just your relationship with your body and being you with all your experiences in your body?
Totally. I mean, for me, being me was, I've always been a seeker from such a young age, because I knew I was different. I was told I was different. And my mom was such a pioneer in me turning out the way I have turned out, just because she, as a mother, was just naturally instinctive with giving me so much allowance to be me. And she always allowed me to be me, make my own choices, let me discover them through that way. So I'd been a huge activist and advocate of being you. And when I found the Being You, Changing the World book, and there was this guy called Dr. Dane here and Access Consciousness, and there were tools that were already grounded. There was a space and a place that had the vocabulary, because the vocabulary of Access Consciousness is different. And
I was like, right here.
Absolutely. And he's doing a Being You, Changing the World class very soon.
Yay.
But there was this language and a place that had already been grounded here, a place to access information that was going to have tools to help me be more of me. And I think the biggest amazing gift of Access is their catchphrase, the slogan, however you want to call it, is empowering people to know what they truly know. I think I'm saying it correctly. It's about your knowing. Use the tools to discover what you know. And it's been so much fun really digging into that. What do I know with my body? What do I know about this journey I'm on? And getting through trauma is a human experience. Like it's something we have to address. So we have to address our psychology, because that's the human experience that we are having. We have to address our spirituality, like all of that, and try understand what that is individually for us, because we are on all different journeys. We all further along the path than some are younger, whatever that might be. But again, what's so amazing and what helped me along this journey, especially with these tools from Access, is they're so fucking simple, but so powerful. Two of them today is what do you know, number one, and getting out of judgment and being an allowance, number two. Just those two things freed up so much space for me to choose how I was going to do things in my life, and allowed me to not care what other people thought, allowed me to not care what other people were choosing, if I was different to choosing something else, because I was an allowance for the first time. I was an allowance with my body for the first time. And then you get another tool. What else is possible? Right? Question mark. And learning
so
to
simple.
Yeah. And learning to be in the question, and truly learning to be in the question and going, okay, cool. So if I've had 29 of probably the most horrendous years anyone could ever imagine, every form of abuse, cool. But now I've got these tools, and I'm an actor, and I've got big dreams. Okay, so hella lot of trauma, big dreams. I'm in the middle. What the fuck? How am I gonna? I can't keep going that way forward, carrying this fucking heavy ass suitcase of trauma behind me. How am I going? I can't just cut the cord and drop it in the ocean behind me, because I also have to process it so I don't make those choices moving forward. I need to kind of stop the loop that's creating this, because another tool, your point of view creates your reality, right? So that loop is going to keep continuing until I discover what's going to stop that loop, and then I can let it go. So through foundation, through bars, through just, you know, for me, I work with Access, but I also work very spiritually as well. I've always worked with angels my whole entire life. So I do a lot of angel work as well, where I connect to my angels. And I think that almost connects with Talk to the Entities with Shannon O'Hara. Like she's, you know, there's lots of tools for people to learn how to connect it, where I've just done it naturally as well. So it's blending everything that you know in your life in order to heal, to move forward. And as long as you make the choice to heal and the choice to get out of your victimhood, then you will move forward. And I think that's what made the difference for me, is I chose not to be a victim anymore. I chose not to repeat my story. And I chose to be empowered and go, what is it going to take for me to live in ease, joy, and glory? Another tool from Access.
Yay!
So it's quite hard to really say. I mean, it would be a book for me to describe as to how I got here with my body, but it's
and it may be sometime, yes.
And it may be
some
universe, what else is possible for me to write this book? But I think what's so beautiful now is I'm in one of the most competitive industries in the world, and I'm showing up with my body, and I walk into the room and I'm not I'm not lambasting it. I'm not forcing it. It's like and another gift through this whole situation, which I'm going to give to you now, which completely blew my mind. And I was in LA 2 weeks ago doing Right Voice for You with Christopher Hughes, which was amazing. And one of the big things that came out that class for me was, what is relaxation for you and your body?
Wow.
So we've been so conditioned to believe that relaxation is lying on the couch, but that's not always the case. So I thought relaxation, I have to relax. But relaxation for me is actually going to the gym. I love being active. And it was such a mental shift for me, because I was like, oh, okay, so even if I'm tired, in inverted commas, what is actually going to be a contribution to me now is going for a beautiful walk, or going to go lift weights, because gosh, that makes my body feel good. So I'm going to go do that. And that's relaxation. So it's a contribution to my being that day. But it always changes. So, you know, like, and then tomorrow, what is that contribution going to be? But I love that being active for me didn't have this force and control about it suddenly. It had this softness and this kindness going, hang on, you don't have to get fat by lying on the couch and, you know, just being stagnant, which is not a contribution for my body all the time, because it was a loop of mine. I had to lie on the couch and do nothing. And then I love food. So then I'll just and not be conscious with my body and my being, instead of going,
when you say
okay,
you
body,
love food, you love, I can attest.
I love food. Okay. Humanoid, pause that story. Onto food.
Onto food.
So I have to tell everyone. So when I booked my first international tour, it was Cats. And Angela was, and still is, one of my biggest inspirations in the musical theatre industry. And we flew to South Korea. And I remember seeing her there. Anyway, I absolutely fangirled in rehearsals. Long story short, we're on the tour many months down the line, and big buffet. I think it was our Christmas.
Yeah, before we came home.
It was our Christmas dinner, and I walk into the restaurant, and I go for dessert first, and Angie's sitting next to me, and I get all the desserts I want, and then I put them there like a squirrel.
Okay, well, this is dessert. We're talking 3 plates of dessert, okay, not just
yeah.
Dessert, like
I want the
jelly,
and I want the ice. Yeah. And then I went and got my mains, and then I got my starters. And I'm going to eat my starters until I get to my pudding. Because what if it's gone, right? Genuine fear. What if it's gone? Angela says, are you okay? Like, are you all right? Anyway, clearly was not all right. Cut many years later, I've got emotional eating disorders, right? So work through that. But what's been such a gift now is really through the body class, through foundation, through bars, through all the work, through learning to just look in the mirror every morning and go, hey, I love you. And my favorite thing to do as well in the morning when I wake up is really touch my body and go, hey, and any part of me that I judge, you know, when you walk past the mirror to just see if you look okay, and you're like, I reverse, I go back to that the part that I just judged, I look at it, and then I'm like, hey, you, I touch it, and I'm like, I love you, you're fine, you're beautiful, let's go. And then we go out, and then another incredible tool I'm just going to throw out there is MTVSS.
Oh, yeah.
And then every time I rub cream on my body, I just go MTVSS, run. And I just MTVSS my whole body. And it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, use these tips.
You got a whole new touch on it.
Jay?
I say you've got a whole new touch on how to use these tools that I've never considered at all.
Yeah, 100%. Please use them. Have an invitation to using them with your body, and so much fun. And now now with my relationship to food is, asking body, what would you like to eat? And then also learning from Dane as well with how he eats. He's told many stories where he'll go to a restaurant and his body will want something to eat, but also knowing that you don't have to finish the meal. Maybe your body only wants a bite. Maybe it wants half the meal. But being so present with you and your being that you are so listening to everything it's saying the whole time. And so that's the gift, I think, is through all of this, through running bars, you create the space to be present. And from this present moment, magic and miracles can happen.
I'm so proud of you. Oh. It's beautiful to see this healing that's happened in your life. I mean, obviously that's just one example. But yeah, I mean, I remember that complete. That's why I said, are you okay? Because it wasn't just, I laughed. We laugh because it's like on the outside.
Well, it is funny.
That vibration, the complete panic and whatever, and to watch that. And
for anyone listening who
be conscious of it,
and for anyone listening or whoever comes across this video and has food stuff or has sexual abuse stuff or has family trauma or any kind of trauma, know that that's okay. Number one, that you have that, but also know that you can change it. You can change it. You can heal from it. Like you just can. You choose it, you wake up and you're going to go, I'm not going to be fucking defeated by this. And from that, you stand in the present moment and you go, what else is possible? Show me, universe, what I can do next. And something is going to happen that's going to show you your very next step. And you take one tiny step every single day until that eventually becomes a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. And before you know it, you will stop one day and you'll look back and you go, oh my gosh, I've let go of that shit. And as I'm saying this right now, I'm going, oh my gosh, I've let go of that shit, which is so cool. But you can do it. If I can do it, to anyone listening, you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And as Shannon always, I'm listening to one of Shannon's goal pulls at the moment. I love Shannon. And she's just like, for those of us who are already in Access, just use the fucking tools. She's a little bit more like, just use the fucking tools.
So
and if
simple.
You haven't any of these, come and find out about some of these tools that Jarryd's talking about, because truly, you'll find one that works for you, and you just in the question. It's not some, mystical, difficult thing.
And there is other language, and there is, oftentimes we, in Access consciousness, we can call it Access Island, where it seems like this island of accessy people and blah 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 blah. But fundamentally, it's a place where you get to learn tools to integrate into your life, period, to help you make better choices, to help you know what you know, and that's all it is. And what's so much fun is to take those tools and then go, cool, what can I do with my acting now? Cool, what can I do with my cooking? What can I do with my singing? What business can I create now with these tools? Because they're so simple, but they just create so much for you.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think even for us as performers, although I'm not, performing full time at the moment, when I'm still doing concerts and corporates and things, the approach for me is so different now. Before, I've always had an approach when I'm performing. I've always wanted to be a conduit of some sort, just 100% so that experience. But now it's also also start that performance by what contribution can I be here? Like, how can I out-create anything that I've done before, and you don't need to know the answer to any of those. It's not about knowing the answer. It's just about putting the question out there and then allowing. And it takes some of the pressure off of, I need to sing a perfect song, or I've got to make perfect sounds, or I've got to be the hostess with the mostest, like whatever it might be. And I think that that is for anyone in any career, whatever that it is that you might do, is how you show up. So having these tools just to ask questions that open up.
It takes us out of that ego intention and that ego drive and that ego chatter and that ego noise, and puts us straight into alignment with who we truly are. And from that space and intention, that's where the magic happens. Because you're just being true, you're being authentic, you're being real, you're being you. And from that space, your contribution to the planet, because that's what we want to be. We want to be of service to the planet, and how can we make it a better place?
And to add to that, I think this is one of the best things for me, is that you give less of a fuck as well. The tools help you to be so comfortable with who you are. Is that, and not like, I don't give a fuck. Like you literally just get to a place of being really much more comfortable with just being who you be. And so therefore you don't have to show up trying to please, trying to be something else. You can just be. And the pressure that takes off of you, especially as a performer, or anyone who's, shows up in any kind of space where people are there to, judge, whatever. That's been something that's really amazing.
And it's tools. Sorry. And it's such an invitation for energy, because energy is something that is still a very new concept to the world at the moment. A lot of people are waking up to the idea of energy. What does energy mean? How can I use it? How do you feel it? How do I protect myself from it? All these questions are starting to arise about energy. So for anyone listening, Access is such a wonderful step-by-step process to learn to understand energy. And it is so fundamental. It's like brushing your teeth. Hygiene for your teeth, you need to also understand how to protect your energy, how to clean your energy, how to be responsible for your own energy, so that you're not affecting other people's lives with your energy, or they're not affecting you with their energy. Like all of that work is such an important journey to understand, which everyone is waking up to at the moment. But again, Access has a beautiful step-by-step process into understanding that in such simple ways to implement into your life.
Happiness. Sins, did you have a question? Because Jarryd and I can just flip and waffle.
I was just going to say about the showing up, because obviously I'm not a performer, but I'm a bit more introverted. And I mean, doing that blanket Facebook Live with just a blanket on, I mean, I would never have done that before. And it's just like, you show up and it's like, that's who I am. And there isn't that before. I wouldn't have done it. I would have gone, no. And now it's like, since Access, it's just like being more of you and choosing more, and just, I don't know, it's almost like being braver, but like energetically braver, and just showing up. And it's, I don't know.
But
it's
also, like even as you say that, I totally read that your body was like, this is so
baby.
Fun. like I can literally perceive your body going, that was so much fun. And that's what's so cool as well, that it's just learning that communion to go, my body actually wants to wear this, or my body wants this blanket now. Like, yeah.
And I mean, when you look back at that
before,
video,
like I was my head.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go, Angela.
I was going to say you were actually doing body class with Katerina at the time, and and so Sin shows up, like gets naked with a dog blanket, and she looks like a goddess, man. She's glowing because she's done one day of body processes, looking as hot as hell. And like, and no one can believe that she's actually showing up in this way. and just being heard was such an amazing, amazing thing. And that you can't force that.
Love that. No.
No, but
No.
I mean, before I would have got into my head, and it's like, no, but I must first lose 20 kilos before I can do that. And, all these things you process, you must be a certain way before you can do something. Whereas if you just be in the fun of it, in the energy of it, and in that space at that time, how much fun can you have?
Yeah.
So cool. And all the possibilities now moving forward.
Yeah. So coming back to then what contribution we can be, there's two things that come to mind. So as we talk about Mandela Day, the one is to ask you, and you have covered off a lot of this, is what you know about being a contribution. But second to that is the part also where people, particularly in the community or the charity or that space, where there's often a lot of guilt and self-judgment about not doing enough or being enough or how to show up or what to do. What can you tell us about being the authentic contribution that only you can be?
Gosh, being the authentic contribution that I think I can only be is being me. And honestly, I truly believe that if everyone in the planet got out of judgment first and into allowance of everyone, the world would immediately create a oneness, because everyone would acknowledge everyone else's allowance, number one. But being you is the magic, honestly, and owning your uniqueness. And by doing that, like, it's also understanding that people are on different journeys and people on different tracks of life. So feeling sorry or feeling shame for someone else is never going to be a contribution to them, but going up to someone, if your knowing says so, then go and ask a question. What contribution can I be to you? And then they can offer their response back. But it's really being in the energy of, if we could all choose to live our greatest and best lives for the highest and greatest good of all, and if we could all get out of judgment, immediately you can perceive how that energy changes everything.
Yeah.
More than everyone being stuck in judgment. Yeah, it's so big, versus everyone being stuck in judgment, and then it's, oh, how can my charity outdo yours? And, oh no, but I've got 100,000 more people sick and having problems. So let's create more sick and problems, because your point of view creates your reality. So let's just create an organization to keep creating this, right? Instead of going, what other space can we be that would out-create that energy, out-create that space? Yeah, even with animals, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And taking little action as well. It doesn't always have to be monumental action every single day. It can be an acknowledgement, and that could be the contribution that you give to someone else that day, or that tree, acknowledging that animal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pity that P's not here, because it's something we've been covering off a lot, as people that play in the animal rescue space, for example. Just that word alone, puts us in that superior, we're rescuing, all of that kind of thing. We've had to really grapple with asking permission. Do you need help? Can I be a contribution? As opposed to feeling like we just need to go in everywhere, be that with animals or humans, and just.
Totally.
And then also a big contribution that one can be is also just being the energy of what you are trying to achieve. So, if you're seeing that people are in hunger, like there are people that are hungry, yes, there's absolutely a requirement in many instances to feed people physically because they need the food. but it's the energy that you arrive with. Are you going to be the energy of need and hunger and needing food, or are you coming with the energy of the opposite of whatever that might be? And so it's being in
possibilities to create the change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is like a whole flipping head. It's like a whole 360 on what we know about giving, your time for charities or whatever that might be, is the energy that you show up with.
And it's such a big topic, and it's so layered. But what really came to mind for me about Mandela Day is recentering. I just get the word recentering to the values of what Mandela was trying to achieve. And I think as a country, as a people, as a humanity, it's going recentering back to those core values, recentering back to what truly matters, what is truly true, authentic, real, and going back to that space and going, okay, let's cut the bullshit. And now from that space, choose the possibilities, make the next choice, discover what else is possible.
Yeah. I love that. Because Madiba said, I mean, one of the famous quotes is, it's in our hands to make a difference. And it totally is. We need to show up and own our own shit, own our own lives.
Totally.
If we're going to live in victim in our own lives, with whatever that might be, how can we possibly be the energy of overcoming all of that, when we get into helping other people or beings, creatures?
And just a story that just popped up about all of this was when I was doing some energy work with some horses with Jenny. And we were working with this one horse, and I just kept saying, the horse was talking to me and was not wanting to have the label of rescue horse anymore. Mm. And so as soon as we destroyed and uncreated that label, that horse was, that's the rescue horse. That's the rescue. That's the rescue. The rescue. The rescue. Your point of view creates your reality, and it just kind of locked it in for that animal. And as soon as we broke that and go, okay, cool. Who are you truly? And what do you want to be? It was just like, whew, okay, now we can play. And I was like, it was so amazing. And it's, but again, it was the horse's choice to choose whether it wanted to change its reality. So that's why so many people are shocked when a homeless person is on the street and they take them off, but then they end up back there. Did you ask if they wanted to leave in the first place? Because some people are happy living that life. That's their journey. Just leave me alone. I'm navigating this on my own. That's their choice. Then we respect that choice. So it's such a beautiful way when we go, always asking the question, do you want the help? Can I be a contribution? Yes or no? Yes, great, dive in. No, cool, enjoy your life.
Yeah. It makes it much simpler. And then you don't have to live in guilt the whole time and panic that you're doing it or not doing enough. You can just show up and, be available to
if someone chooses the choice to change, the change will happen for the greatest good. But if
whether it's you or someone else, it doesn't
totally. But if it's from force and control, you're going to be dragging their ass for as long as eternity till they want to change. And that can be for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
And for me, just if there's a stranger or someone that's maybe on the side of the road, just looking people in the eye, no matter who they are, smiling and acknowledging them, and having a conversation. Like I've always,
not having the judgment.
Yes, I've always said to him, smiles are free, and it's always been like I've always have that friendly face where you can speak to anyone as if they're your friend almost. I've always, that for me, it's always been something that I I just naturally do, but it's just to acknowledge.
And we all conditioned that way, and that is such a powerful tool, is to just go, okay, if I'm in true allowance, would I look at this person in the eyes and say hello? Yes, I would. So then you do it. And just that acknowledgement, seeing people going, you exist, and I see that you exist. Cool.
I must tell you a story. A few years ago, I was presenting a program for South African television program, and one of the documentaries that we did was we went to Durban, and there used to be a home for people, or for homeless people, called the Ark, where now Shark Marine. And so, as the presenter of the program, they actually we were at the Ark, and I kind of got dressed up, dressed down, as though I was one of the people people living in the Ark. They gave me one of their babies to use to go and stand on the side of a road, and just actually our film crew parked at a distance, and I was in kind of a dodgy part of town, a woman on her own with the baby, and the baby must have been about 10 months old, on my hip, and I was at the robots asking people for money, or just kind of being there. And the awareness that I got, and it was so traumatic for me, and I never ever forgot it, was that people just ignored me. Either people would show up who wanted, that might have been, men or whatever, that thought I was there to, for an opportunity to sell my body, whatever it might be, but mostly it was just completely ignoring that I existed. I remember coming away from that shoot just being so profoundly affected by being invisible, even though I clearly was not. And that has always stayed with me. And so even now, I've lived in my area for 15 years or something. And there's a guy who's been at the same robot for 15 years. And I think that I've given him like physical food or money or something twice in that time. But he and I have such an amazing relationship, because every single time I drive past, we do like a little hello thing. We always like, how are you? Like, we always connect every single day. But I've only actually given him physical food twice. But we have
you've given him so much more.
Everything else. And I think, so it's interesting that this topic now comes up for us on Mandela Day, because those just one thing 365, those little things that you can do is just seeing another human. And as you say, having an allowance for them. And
everyone wants to be seen, and everyone wants to be heard. And if you can be an allowance for that, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yay! What a wonderful evening of conversation. I've loved this.
Love it. And just so that if anyone, and so that you know as well, Jay, in the comments, Cindy, she's the one who's responsible out of the three of us. Like, she's the one that's got all of the stuff.
The mover and the actioner.
Yeah, we like the talkers, and Cindy's like gets the real shit done.
I love it.
So in the chat, literally every time you've said something, there's Paul Kearney's stuff, there's the classes, the foundation classes, there's Jenny's website, there's Katarina's website, there's Dane's website. They're all there. Christopher Hughes, Shannon O'Hara. So there are lists there. So if you're listening, just check into the comments, and you can just hop on to any of those and find out a little bit more about the tools that we've been
using. Yeah. Thank you.
So Jay, as we sort of wrap up, I mean, we should really have gone for 67 minutes, we could. But what's next for you? Yeah, we can.
We totally can. What's next for me? I am in London at the moment, but also I am literally taking every day by day, and seeing what shows up, and being in the question and going, what else is possible? How does it get better today? And what magic and miracles can me and my body be today? It's my favorite question that I ask every day. And seeing and choosing to be happy. I I'm also doing Dane's 30-day ESB, which is incredible. I did last month and I'm on this month now. So don't choose that. It is incredible. And yesterday's call, he said something about how he woke up and he was like, you know, when you're in one of those moods, you're like, fuck the world, like, and he was like, hang on, I'm actually really happy. Return to sender.
Does it belong to?
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm choosing to be happy. Hey, I'm actually a happy person. So, you know, so again, today, tomorrow, be happy, wake up because you are happy. Anything else, not yours.
Yeah.
Return to sender.
I mean, we were reminded on Facelift yesterday, and obviously it comes up in Foundation, is that like 98%, well, I suppose the more classes you do, but 98% of your thoughts and feelings are not yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
totally.
every time you do something, asking the question, does this belong to me? Yes or no? And if it's not, then return to sender. And if it does, well, pardon, pop that shit.
Oh my gosh. And I have to tell you there's lots of cool pills in this call, but
Jarryd Nurden's top tip.
Yeah, so this was an incredible gifted tool from Chris now recently in Right Voice for You. It was when you ask, is it mine? Is it someone else's? You ask that question, like, is this mine? And when you're like, no, it isn't, but it's still affecting you. And you're like, but I've returned it, but it's still there. You simply just go, get out of their world.
Ooh.
Get out of their world. Just step out. Step out of their world.
I like that.
Yeah, and you immediately feel that disconnection from that energy straight away. Like just step out. Step out of their world and c'est la vie. So there we go.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's ping to share. So wonderful.
Yeah. That's amazing, because that often does happen, as you're saying, is that you return to sender, but then you're still like sitting with it.
Yeah. So then you just step out of their world and bye.
It's gone.
Yeah. Because you've stepped out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now I'm feeling like we've got 10 minutes. 67.
No, we don't have. We don't have to do it.
We don't. We're in the energy of 67.
Exactly.
7 minutes for Mandela Day. I am so looking forward to seeing you in London. I mean, I was meant to be there already a week ago, but whatever we choose, we can run bars in Hyde Park or facelifts in.
Can't wait.
My body cannot wait. As I've said, since when I see you, I'm going to drop and roll you in public. Drop and roll.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Oh,
and because we've done Cats the musical together and we've worn Lycra, we have rolled around on many floors in Lycra together.
Literally.
Anyone who's done Cats, our bodies know each other very well.
Oh, can't wait for it to happen. And then Cindy, you next. We have to see you soon.
Yes. Well, what would it take for us to all get together in person?
That would be wonderful. Yes. Somewhere overseas would be fun.
Somewhere lovely. Well, also, I mean, Dane and Gary are coming to do 7 days here in January.
I know. So cool.
You were going to be coming home for that occasion. We're already planning prereqs.
That was the time I was already planning to come home for a visit. So another great tool, choose it and allow the money to show up. So I have registered and I have chosen the class and we'll see what happens.
How does it get better?
Yeah.
I have to do my prereqs. I still have prereqs. I need to choose those first.
We're doing a call this week.
Don't pardon park that. Choose the class and allow the prereqs to show up.
There you go.
I like it. Yes. Another way
I don't
around.
have the prereqs either yet.
Yes. We got
I'm
6
choosing my
months.
class.
We've got a couple of months to grow us
What would it take?
that class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I think that's
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's just so wonderful,
Yeah,
and
it's been
all of
such a
these
lovely chat.
And I think one of the also just to add to this prereq thing is that often people question like, oh, to do this class, I have to do these classes, and they think about it as just doing classes. But in order to be able to get the most out of that class, you need to have actually done a bit of processing. So those prereqs are about doing some work that prepares the ground for by the time you get there. Otherwise, you're going to just miss.
Yeah, it's literally just foundational work to understand the certain tools, to understand the different energies, and then eventually, like what's been so incredible is my hands start doing stuff now, and just working with the energy and like manipulating the energy. So I like cannot wait to do SOP and an ESB class like in person and just explore that. But again, it's because now I'm ready for it. So everything in divine timing. There's no race either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the song that's busy playing? Because there's always some song playing in my head is like, if they could see me now. I mean, I think when, if some of our friends have to see all the crazy shit we get up to, they actually, having said that, let me just pardon me, because here's the thing. I was with someone the other day. In fact, this has happened more than once. And I mean, I know when you're looking at social media, people see us and we always just look so freaking happy and like, we're having the best time, which we totally are. I mean, we don't have other times, but we get back to happy quickly. But I was with someone the other day who I haven't seen for a long while, and someone that I assume would judge me for the space that we're playing in at the moment. And she was like, tell me about this stuff that you guys are doing. Had been watching some things. And I'm like, well, there's this Access thing and bars and blah, blah, and it's just being in the question. But the profound thing for me was this person who would naturally be someone who would be totally judgy of this world said to me, wow, I'd really like to hear more, because I can see that whatever's happened in your life, like whatever it was, I don't need to get in that, but I am different than from the stuff that was holding me back.
You being the change.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the fun.
And if we can all be the change, then we will be the invitation for all of those people to start choosing something different for themselves.
Yeah. Because you don't fake this shit, because that would be exposed.
No.
So,
and you can't sell access, like Gary says. You just see it.
And even us as relatively, capable performers can't sell that energy. Tip to action, just be the energy. Yeah.
Literally.
But people choose when they choose. I mean, it's just because you can. I mean, Jason, my husband, came across Access like a few years back, and he was telling me about it. But I didn't choose it then, only like years later. So you choose it when you choose it. Totally.
It's like Sarah always speaks about it as well. And Sarah Grandiniti's Dane's sister, and how she is an incredible facilitator in Access Consciousness. But she didn't choose it for many years, and she always tells that story. And when she chose it, it was the right time to choose it. And now she's flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's just been on my awareness, very often when it comes to spiritual things, women are all in first. Like women are just churches are full of women and groups are full of women. But what's amazing for me is like how many amazing strong men are in Access. I mean, you introduced me, as you're saying, since Your husband was in, Jason was in before you were in there. Like Dane was in there and Sarah followed in there. Like the guys, there's such a strong place in Access that celebrates men for all they are and women for all we be as well.
And there's an incredible shift now happening in the world where the world is now in its feminine energy again. So what we are seeing and acknowledging now is women are required to step back into their feminine energy and not operate from their masculine energy anymore. And women allowing men to be men and allowing them to also access their feminine energy, but be the masculine energy that they truly are. So everyone is operating in that beautiful equilibrium, because in the past, women had to get into that masculine energy to drive, to be confident, to create change, to fight the inequality, But now it's shifting, and now, and through that process, men got like emasculated through that process, and men lost their identity as a whole. And now it's an invitation to go, come back, be the supportive, the provider, the carer, but also tap into your intuition, your nurturance, your kindness, and be in that beautiful balance, which Sins, your husband, is an absolute example of.
Thanks.
So,
yay!
So we've actually now we were
Killian, this was your whole.
Minutes.
You did it.
We've got 30
you will
seconds.
always win. We'll have to do a countdown.
Yeah.
At the 50.
It's been what a joy. I fucking adore you. You know that.
Yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you.
It's so fun.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 67 minutes.
Yay! Happy Mandela.